And I'm pleading to you for your involvement, for your prayers, for your giftedness that is necessary here at the church. Because we're all connected, and God says a little bit of sin over here is going to affect the entire church. I hope I'm not speaking too harshly. I'm always concerned about that. And then on the other hand, I say, well, sometimes we have to be clearer than we need to be. There are some people who are more devoted to their bowling league than they are the church. There are some people who are much more devoted to be on work on time than they are to be to church on time. Or it would take them much more to keep them away from work than it would keep them from being away from church. And so I ask you today, you're a part of the body. You're important to the whole. Don't think to yourself that your walk with God does not affect everyone else. God says this couple, this deceitful couple, would affect everyone else. And so does your deceit affect everyone else, or my deceit affect everyone else. It's the law of mutual influence. Let's go to a third. The law of final accountability. What a story. You do know it, don't you? Notice what the text says. When Ananias heard this, that is, when he heard Peter speak, he fell down and died. Ugh. And great fear seized all who heard what had happened. I guess so. Then young men came forward and wrapped his body and carried him out and buried him. About 3 hours later, his wife came in, not knowing what had happened. And Peter said to her, "Tell me, is this the price you and Ananias got for the land?" You see, he was mentioning the price that they gave to the apostles. And she said, "Yes," lied, direct lie. This was a great chance for her to say, "No, we lied," but she didn't. She said, "Yes, that's the price." Peter said to her, "How could you agree to test the Spirit of God? Look, the feet of the young men who buried your husband are at the door, and they will carry you out also." At that moment she fell down dead at his feet and died. Then the young men came in, and finding her dead, carried her out and buried her beside her husband. Great fear seized the whole church and all who heard about these events. Don't you at this point just want to say, wow? Were these people Christians? Of course I think they were. I think that the fact that they sinned against the Holy Spirit. Now, the church was walking in the energy of the Spirit. They were constantly filled with the Holy Spirit. Here's somebody who lies against the Holy Spirit. So I think they were Christians. I think they arrived in heaven. I think we shall see them someday. Can't you just imagine, oh, Ananias and Sapphira, see, you're the ones. Yeah, I preached about you one time. Sapphira, where were you during that 3-hour period? Could it be that you were shopping at the mall with the money that you had, Sapphira? I'm sure that in heaven we won't be talking about those things, but there they are. You say, well, Pastor Lutzer, why did God judge them like this, so severely? I mean, isn't this overkill? Well, yes, my friend, I guess you could call it overkill. This is Pastor Lutzer, and my message is on Ananias and Sapphira, whom God so severely judged that he took their lives because of their disobedience. I shouldn't say disobedience, really, but dishonesty and lying about how much they gave to the church. And God wanted to say right from the beginning of the church that holiness is important. And when the church got started there in the book of Acts, God had some phenomenal things take place. I mean, there were not only miracles, there was, of course, the miracle of tongues that we spoke about a few weeks ago, but here also we see that they are struck down by God. God wanted to say that holiness is important to him. Now, someone has suggested that if God were to do this today, churches might have to have morgues in their basement. Because isn't it true that we live with a lot of hypocrisy, perhaps in our own hearts, and there are others who even perhaps in a more so way want to give the impression that they are more spiritual than they are. The bottom line is simply this, my friend, today. What we need to do is to say, God, we give you our reputations. whether we are well thought of or not, whether we get credit for what we've done or not, whether the rest of the church honors us because of our generosity or because of our commitment or not. Let us serve you. Let us give to you. Let us worship. Let us serve you. And let us be content with your approval. I pray that for myself as a pastor. Many people know about our ministry, but at the end of the day, there's only one opinion that really matters, and that is what Jesus thinks. And as a result of knowing that what Jesus thinks is important, we can go on without necessarily looking for all of the bouquets thrown in our direction, because pleasing Him is our fervent determination.
Thank you, Dr. Lutzer. Dr. Erwin Lutzer has wrapped up Part 2 of He Owns Our Reputation, the 5th message in his series, When God is First, taken from the book of Acts. Tomorrow, more about the law of final accountability. Running to Win comes to you from Chicago's Moody Church to help you understand God's roadmap for your race of life. The 8 messages in this series can be yours on CD, cassette, or MP3. For full information, call toll-free at 1-800-215-5001. That's 1-800-215-5001. Ask about When God is First when you call. Take time to visit our website at runningtowin.org. And don't forget, Running to Win is supported by listeners like you. This is Dave McAllister. So what's your financial reputation? Join us tomorrow for our next edition of Running to Win.